Alright, so this is week 4, and over the past weekend it was the Super Bowl, and a long-standing tradition of the Super Bowl is the advertisements that play. They're often extreme and full of big-name celebrities. So I read an article from the CBC called "Are the Academy Awards Next? U.S. Super Bowl Commercials in Canada Test Future of CRTC and Policy," written by Matthew Black. Usually in Canada, we are excluded from these commercials during the game and are subject to Canadian rerun ads. This year, the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission was lifting the ban on U.S. commercials and allowed Canadian audiences to choose between Canadian stations such as CTV or watch on Fox and enjoy the U.S. commercials. This substitution rule, which usually applies when American TV is being shown in Canada, allows for Canadian cable companies to swap out American ads for Canadian ones in order to bring back money that the broadcasting companies spent on obtaining the American shows. By substituting the ads for Canadian ones, it keeps ad dollars in Canada and generates $200 million a year for Canadian broadcasters. The substitution rule has brought issues in the past, such as Canadian audiences watch the same ad multiple times throughout the game, and sometimes experience delays and miss out on the action. The Super Bowl attracts a huge audience of 7.37 million on CTV, and it is part of the experience watching these iconic ads, which is one of the reasons why this rule is being lifted. Canadian broadcasters and advertisers are nervous they will lose revenue this year with the split. People will choose to tune into U.S. stations and obtain the full experience rather than sticking with the Canadian broadcasters. The fear is also that this will begin to happen with other large TV events such as the Golden Globes or the Grammys. There has been a recent legal battle of CTV and the NFL to fight the ad substitution. They are concerned that these split screens will affect Canadian rights and the Canadian advertisement sales. Getting rid of the substitution would make Canadian broadcasters increase their content rather than supporting the U.S. advertisement economy. This year, to increase the Canadian viewers on Canadian stations, they have been doing way more advertisements leading up to the game and are showing it on CTV, CTV2, TSN, and RDS. According to a Global News article written February 7th, the Super Bowl ratings were down 39% in Canada, and Bell Media blamed this drop due to the CRTC's decision to allow Canadian audiences to view an American stream. This year, only 4.47 million people watched the Super Bowl on a Canadian station, compared to the 7.37 million from 2016 that I mentioned earlier. Bell Media Vice President Scott Henderson said they predicted this loss of viewers, and it is having a negative impact on Canadian viewers, advertisers, and broadcasting, and they will continue to fight this decision the CRTC has made. This rule has only been lifted for the Super Bowl, but once it starts, I believe the other events will soon follow. But with the rise of streaming and on-demand TV, the market for TV advertisements is shrinking anyway.